Wilson.
All right, so we have our next guest in the studio, and Amber Gray has joined us. She's the next contestant that we've got here for the Sydney Rose of Tralee, if you've just tuned in. And Amber, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. We're delighted to have you. Now, Amber, let's start just a little bit about you. Because you've lived in many different places. So you're from Dublin originally, is that right?
Yes, born and raised in Dublin.
Born and raised in Dublin. And, of course, I have to ask, which side of Dublin?
I'm from Finglas.
From Finglas. That's okay. And then you spent some time in Cavan.
I did.
And how long were you in Cavan for?
About 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you are all the way from Gulgong. So for anyone who doesn't know where Gulgong is, where is Gulgong?
So Gulgong's about 4 hours out of Sydney. It's about 300 kilometres away. And it's famously known as the $10 town. So if you've ever seen an old $10 note, it's got us on it.
That's a very historic little town, isn't it?
Yes.
And what brought you to Gulgong?
Well, I was coming out of COVID and I decided I really wanted to get back to country lifestyle after living in Cavan. And I really wanted to get back into horses, and the best way to do that is to go out west.
And speaking of horses, now you you have a certificate in horse breeding, which you did in Scone.
Yes.
And then you've also been to the Irish National Stud. Tell us about that.
Yes, so that was amazing. So in 2023, I was at the yearling sales in Warwick Farm, and I got chatting to some of our local thoroughbred reps, and they recommended, you should apply we run a scholarship to go to the Irish National Stud. And I thought, this is great. I would love to do that. So I applied, didn't think I would make it through to the next round. There was a lot of big stud names popping up in the entrance, and made it through to the round. Was told, you have 6 weeks to pack your bags. You're going to go to Ireland and live there for 6 months and complete the course. So went there. It was freezing. big change in weather. And through there, we worked and studied on the farm. So we lived on site for the 6 months. And at the end, we got an advanced diploma in thoroughbred breeding management. So that was, a once in a lifetime opportunity.
And that's the path you're going to go down, is it, like horse breeding?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're also, you have quite the range of pets, I understand.
Yes, lots of pets.
So you've got a dog, Susie.
Yep.
5 cats.
I do have 5 cats, yes.
And horses as well.
Yes, I've got my ex-thoroughbred. So he's been retired now for 3 years, and he's my main go-to horse at the moment.
And hopefully you're going to have your own breeding operation and racehorse retraining. So that's quite ambitious, isn't it? But
yes, I think so.
Horses all the way.
Yes.
Yeah. And so also I note that you're a strong advocate for health in regional areas. So tell us a little bit about that.
So out where we live, there is a big shortage on doctors. And for me personally, I've been impacted by that. So when I broke my neck, there was no doctor for me to see, so I had to go see a specialist down in Sydney, and then had my surgery, and then afterwards there was still no doctors for me to see to have my dressings changed and go to my physio appointments. So I ended up going to Queensland to be with my mum and dad while I was in the early stages of recovery, and it was easier for me to apply to see a new doctor in a different state and see him throughout the early stages than it was for me to find a doctor anywhere near where we live.
Gosh.
And so that's just an insight to how difficult it is to see a doctor in regional New South Wales. So that's really pushed me to want to get the word out there, because the more we talk about it, the more something will be done about the problem.
And you're going to participate in a project called Laps for Life, which works to raise awareness and funds for mental health support for young people. And you're now going to swim 30 kilometres?
Yes. So I'm already mostly through that. I've got 2 kilometres left to go in my swim, and I've raised over $1,200 for the cause. So it's been a busy month. I'm not much of a swimmer, but I decided it would be a good idea to start swimming.
And you can do 30 kilometres and you're not much of a swimmer.
No, I'm very surprised. So I've got myself a nice set of flippers, and that's been a game changer.
So you didn't have to do it all in one go?
No. So you can do it in increments. So you can just do as many laps as you're physically able to do. You can do 1 lap on one day and 60 laps on another day, but it just accumulates over the month.
That's fantastic.
Not only is that fantastic, but if you look at the recovery that's been made, that's just phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, a girl who broke her neck. Good Lord. And so now let's get on to your involvement in the Rose of Tralee. And obviously you're familiar with it before you join, and what have you already gotten out of the experience so far, and what would you think you would like to achieve by doing it?
So definitely meeting a lot of new people within the community. Living so far away, we don't get to network as much as we would like. And so this has been a great chance to go and see other girls or similar ages, but in completely different walks of life, all come together for the same thing. And that just shows the Irish community is always kind of bringing us back together. And then also just meeting lifelong friends. It's, amazing.
And you had an event last night?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and what was that one?
So that was just a socials night. So we were allowed to bring 2 to 3 guests with us, and it was just all the entrance and committee members went down to Shays and Clavelli, and we just had a good night, eating some food, drinking some drinks, and got to mingle with everyone and see what everyone was up to.
I believe our roving reporter, Pam O'Mahony, was there.
She was, yes. Had a lovely chat with Pam last night.
Yeah, we like to send her out on jobs, And so, as well, now with the Rose of Tralee, because yourself and Helena are the 2 contestants from outside of Sydney, and it's an opportunity, I suppose, to represent regional New South Wales, which maybe, like, for example, maybe even people on the night of the ball or the Dome night may not be aware of some of the things that happen in regional New South Wales. How do you think you would represent Gulgong?
I think I do a pretty good job at representing Gulgong. It's good to get our name out on the map more. And it was the same when I went back to Ireland. I got to represent my stud, who was a small stud in Gulgong. And so her name's now out on the map. And, I think when I was representing Gulgong as a town itself in the young woman competitions, it was a really fun experience to get out and tell everybody how amazing our town was. So I think I could definitely do that on a more international level.
Definitely, yeah. And also, how are the people in Gulgong? Are they following all this?
Yes. The Show Society is very much involved in this because it's the next step up from our young woman competitions.
What's young woman competitions?
So in New South Wales and throughout the states, but they're state orientated, it's more about like rural women, so agriculture. So we need to know a lot about our, local politics, what's going on in the ag world. We're a renewable energy zone, so we need to know about, what's happening in the coal mines, what's happening in the solar farms, what's going to happen to jobs, things about regional health. And we basically all get together and we go through formal interviews. We go to similar events to what the Rose of Tralee does, but just on a more state size. And we go and we have a ball at the end, and then the ladies who make it through to zone will go on to represent the state, and they'll go to the Sydney Easter Royal, and they'll, hopefully become the New South Wales young woman.
Oh, fantastic.
It is spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Amber Gray, you are an outstanding young woman, aren't you?
Thank you.
All the way from Finglas via Cavan, and now Gulgong.
That's it.
So, a bit of city, a bit of country,
But you also went to school here.
I did, yes. So I finished high school in Sydney and then started university here. So I'm in my final semester now, and then I'll be done for a little while, can enjoy the break from studying, and then I'll go back in and probably do a master's in something else.
Great. And what are you studying?
So I'm currently doing a Bachelor of Animal Science.
Well, incredible, the achievements of you had. So, Amber, are you, actually I meant to ask Helena this, are you doing any performance on the night, or have you got any more of these singing, dancing things?
Not planned at the moment.
Not planned at the moment.
With my recovery, I wasn't sure how I'd go playing the guitar, but if things go well, it might make an appearance.
You can play the guitar?
I can, yes.
Okay. I'm completely gobsmacked at the achievements of it. Amber, it's been absolutely a joy to have you in here this morning. We're delighted to meet you and wish you all the very best in the coming weeks. There's lots of things to be doing for the Rose of Tralee, and as Catherine said to Helena as well, driving backwards and forwards for all the various events you've got to come to, and culminating in the big night on the 17th of May is the ball. And tickets are still available. So if you would like to meet Amber and Helena and all the other fabulous young women, get your tickets or ring us up, 9744 0881. Put your name in the hat.
And if you can't make it to the ball, make it to the Dome night, because that's a huge night. It really is.
And when's that?
That's
I think it's on the 2nd of May.
The 2nd of May. Excellent.
It is excellent. Do you know we're going to play you out with Kevin Potholes?
Lovely.
It's a brilliant track. It's Sharon Shannon,
is.
and it is just so upbeat and lovely.
I love it.
Best of luck, Amber.
Thank you.